the street, yeah, we bring the heat. It's your time to speak, or yeah, take your seat. Become eligible, become eligible. Hey.
Welcome back to Become Eligible podcast, where we talk about the highs, the lows, and everything in between in your journey to becoming eligible mentally, emotionally, professionally, and spiritually. My good name is Kimani Sauce. That's Kimanisauce, and they say the faintest ink is better than the strongest memory. And in today's world, nothing could be more true, especially when it comes to contracts and agreements. Whether you're running a business, entering a partnership, or signing your first job offer, understanding the legal weight behind every commitment is not optional, it's essential. But before we get into that, be sure to follow me on each and every social media platform. That is at Become Eligible Podcast, and my personal social media handle is at Kimani Sauce. If you have any question or feedback, be sure to reach out to me using my WhatsApp number, which is 0700573437. Also, be sure to catch this and every other episode of Become Eligible Podcast any place where you get your podcast from. If it's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere, I am there. Joining me today is Wakili Kisoso, a practicing lawyer with 2 years of experience navigating the legal world. She brings fresh yet insightful perspective on contracts, agreements, and everyday legal decisions we often overlook. Get ready to learn how to protect yourself legally in both business and life. Wakili Kisoso, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Karibu sana kwa podcast.
Asante sana.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Who is Wakili Kisoso?
Okay, it's a broad question.
But you can narrow it down.
Let me do that. So, I'm a lawyer by profession, and before saying I'm a lawyer, I'm a child of God.
Ooh, amen.
And yeah, Jesus is the ruler over my life.
Amen.
And I am a lawyer by profession. I'm currently practicing in a parastatal here in Kenya.
Okay.
I'm a daughter, a sister, a friend to you and many others. And yeah, I think that's what I can say for now about myself.
That's good. Before we started recording, there's something you told me about law.
Okay.
That everyone goes to law school, but after that, it's when you decide which branch you're going to take.
Yes.
Can you kindly tell the audience about that?
Oh, okay. So there's this question that I get. People keep asking so what did you specialize in law and stuff like that. So I usually tend to explain that for us lawyers, what happens, we join law school. That's where we do our bachelor's in law, LLB. So it goes on for 4 years.
Yes.
And we all do practically the same thing for the first, I think, two years.
Okay.
Then the other 2 years, now you have the courses where you pick. They are called, what are they called? I can't remember.
Okay.
Where some guys can decide to do maybe energy law, others can decide to do maybe sports law.
Yeah.
They were called, I can't remember the name of those courses. They were not mandatory. They're not compulsory. There was another name that they were called. We're going to
put it up.
Yeah, we'll put it up because imepotea kabisa. So yeah, and then from there, now we go to Kenya School of Law.
Yeah.
Though you might find some people who decide not to go to Kenya School of Law, they just they remain with their degree, maybe do a master's, and they practice, not proper practice like as an advocate, but they can do other things with their degree as a lawyer, but it really limits you.
Yeah.
So what we are encouraged is to go to Kenya School of Law, and now you become an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. There you get a practicing certificate. So with that practicing certificate, you can open a law firm if you want to. You can, you have the power to stamp documents.
Okay.
Unajua wanasemanga hata wale lawyers wako Jivanji. Wakona stamp. Yeah.
For real?
Yeah, wakona stamp. As long as you have been admitted to the bar, you can make your stamp. So you want certification?
Wow.
Nipatie 3,000.
So
and
you can 3,000.
Usually say no. I've just said hypothetically. They usually say you can't sleep hungry with your stamp.
Wow. Which fun fact? By then Nilibambika vile you told me that you did your exam the first time and you passed.
Hey Kimani.
Congratulations.
Kimani, please stop lying to the congregation.
Okay, makosa ni yangu. Okay.
To the audience.
Did you do the exam?
I did the exam.
Did you pass the exam?
I failed. 2 papers.
But did you pass the exam eventually?
Yes,
That's all that matters. We celebrate wins.
Yeah, so
Congratulations.
Thank you. Just to encourage young lawyers, even if you fail 1 or 2, go back, do it again, and you'll pass.
That's
for
good.
sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
To straight into today's discussion. What's a contract?
A contract is a legally binding agreement where 2 or more parties enter into for a specific reason. Maybe there are different types of contracts. Maybe unataka kuniuzia, you want to sell me your phone.
Yeah.
That by itself is a contract because
Okay.
it's a sale agreement, and it can be verbal, or it can even be written or even implied.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you mean by implied?
Implied, how can I say this? I think the best way to explain would be not necessarily said,
Yes.
but okay,
your
what
actions.
other words? Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So like
by my actions, for example, I want you to deliver to me 1,000 cameras.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
And I give you a call. Hey, Kimani, I'm looking for cameras. I know you're a distributor. So
Yeah.
deliver 1,000 cameras to me. 1,000 is a lot. Okay, 1,000 is probably like I have a big company and I'm doing production.
I have a big company. Become eligible is a big company.
No, I'm saying maybe I have. That's why I'm ordering 1,000.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's a huge number. But anyway, that's besides the point. So already, then you deliver to me my 1,000 cameras.
Yes.
And then I pay you, or you invoice me,
yes,
or you do LPO, and I have to pay. So that by itself is a contract.
Okay.
Because there are organizations where you don't need to get into an actual contract. They just need the LPO. The LPO itself is considered as a contract.
Okay.
So it's implied. It's not at the all the elements of a contract, but it's a contract.
Okay.
Yeah. So
a contract can be verbal, written, or the last one? Implied. Okay. And what are the key elements of any contract?
Okay, so the key elements of a contract, we have offer, accept. So offer is when I come and tell you, Kimani, Kimani, I want. Let's flow with the original example that is the cameras.
Okay.
So I come to you and I tell you, I want cameras.
Yes.
I've given you an offer. So you tell me, okay, I have the 1,000 cameras.
Okay.
I'm gonna deliver. That in itself is an acceptance. Then there has to be a consideration. So once you deliver my 1,000 cameras, I am going to give you, let's say, how much is a camera? What can we see? The price?
Like
6 million.
Give me for the 20 cameras. Give me 25 million.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, 25 million is the consideration.
Okay.
So there are elements of a contract that have to be there, because if there's no consideration, there's no contract. If there was no offer, there's no contract. If there's no acceptance, there's no contract.
So if any element is not in any contract, that's
the
not a
core
contract.
Elements, yes, because then also that is what makes the contract. Without those core elements, and I think I've mentioned all. I think there's one that now there is a legal responsibility.
Okay.
I can't remember the exact word to use, but yes. So once you have a document or an agreement with those elements,
yes,
that in itself is a complete contract, a legally binding document. That's what forms like a legally binding document. But there are more clauses in some of the other clauses that are normally there in contracts. Let's say it's a sale agreement.
Okay.
There has to be the terms of the contract where now we will write down when I want them delivered, the type of camera that I want, the date, the mode of delivery. Am I paying for delivery, or is it part of the amount I'm supposed to give you?
Okay.
That's where you write all those things in the terms of the contract or conditions of the contract. And then there are also other clauses such as dispute resolution. So when you deliver 50 cameras,
yes,
and I asked for 100 and I pay for the 100, so we enter into a dispute. Or maybe you deliver. I asked for Canon, then you deliver what other?
The
Sony.
Yes.
Hey, okay. Yeah, you deliver Sony,
yes.
And I asked for a different brand. So it will be like, what happened already? And then you tell me, something like you didn't specify, or that's what we got, stuff like that. So for me, if there was a reason I specifically wanted Canon instead of Sony,
Yes.
that's a dispute in itself.
Okay.
You know, so we need to, in that contract, there has to be a clause
Mhm.
that will cater for dispute resolution.
Okay.
So will we go to court? Will that be our first recourse, or will we do ADR? ADR is alternative dispute resolution. Will we do a mediation where we appoint a mediator who will come and, you know, facilitate our, it's like we call someone who will be a neutral party to listen to both of us and come up with a decision. Then or will we do arbitration? Arbitration is where now we do an application to the NCIA, or that is the National Institute of Arbitrators. Anyway, there are those bodies where arbitrators are licensed. So what happens is maybe we'll do a letter there, or the Chartered Institute of Arbitrators. Then we are appointed an arbitrator who will come and resolve our dispute for us. But most arbitration is done in like huge contracts, like projects between maybe governments. Like you saw when we had a dispute in Kenya, and we called Kofi Annan. He's an arbitrator. You know, so arbitrators tend to be a bit more expensive. It's not cheap to afford an arbitrator, because it's a legally binding. When he makes that decision, it's legally binding. So you don't have to go to court. In fact, you can't even fight an arbitrator's decision unless
whatever they say is final.
Goes. It's so difficult to win a case where you've taken the arbitrator's decision to court, because now what it does, it beats the whole purpose of arbitration, of ADR. Because you see, if we come here and we say we're doing arbitration, then now we go to court. Like, now what was the point of arbitration? So there are some instances where you can challenge an award. I can't remember offhand at the moment, but I know one of them is public policy. Like, if I give an award and maybe it will hurt the country, or the common mananchi will go through some, maybe the damages will be too high that it will bring a dent to the actual like budget of the country or stuff like that. Now there we can go to court, and the court can renounce that decision. But it's very hard to fight an arbitrator's award. I don't even know how we got to arbitrators. And let's go back.
Before that, what is an award? When I mentioned award,
an award is now, it's like a ruling. Like, you see the way when you go to court, between now it will be a dispute between Gloria and become eligible. Yes, because become eligible in itself is a legal person.
Okay, makes sense.
Because it's a company. And now it will be between you maybe and my company. What do we call mine? Let's say Kisoso Productions.
Kisoso Productions. You want to say Kisoso and Daughters.
Oh, nice. Okay. So now, when we go to court between me and you, and the process goes on, we go for hearing, and then we now go for our ruling. The decision that the court makes is called a ruling. Kama ninakosea huku kwa podcast, I really hope not.
No.
So that decision. So in arbitration, it's called an award, an arbitrator's award. You get? So it's the equivalent of the court's decision. Actually, it's called a court's decision, the final decision. Because a ruling is made on other things, but the decision is made on like the final, like, you're meant to pay back Gloria for the 50 cameras that you did not deliver. But you see, I don't want to, let me just get deeper so that I can explain properly.
Yes, please get
But
deeper.
for a ruling, maybe it will be, you'll come to court, right? And you do your prayers. You're like, oh, Mimi Gloria, tunazonge Kiswahili? Okay, useme, mimi Gloria ameniumiza sana, like alisema ni deliver hizi na hizi nikadeliver, and now she doesn't want to pay the rest because you know, I already nilisha incur costs bringing those cameras and stuff like that. And then now you make your prayers. You say, oh, me, I want my money back, or I want my cameras back, whichever damages you'll decide you want. You know. So, and then you say, I want that Gloria doesn't do another tender or doesn't procure those cameras from elsewhere. If it's a public company, you know, I work for a public company, so I'm thinking publicly. But if it's private, you'll say, or I want Gloria to get me back to where I was before. Like, before I bought these cameras, I went on a loss. If she can't pay for them, let her pay for the money that I've used. for the money that I've used to buy these cameras. So there are different types of damages. There are liquidated damages. So this is what you go to court to ask. Unataka nini kutoka kwa koti. You get, so they can make a ruling and they're like, okay, before we make this decision, we put an injunction. That
What's
Gloria, an injunction is like, now that's what I want to explain. That Gloria and what is the name of my company? Gloria Productions will not use those cameras. Zishikiliwe.
So zinashikiliwa na nani? Na wewe ama
na koti inapeana order.
Okay.
Like these cameras, we don't want them to be, so they hold onto them until this matter is resolved. Because you see, you've already delivered the cameras to me. I have not paid you, and then I'm busy producing, making money with your cameras.
Makes sense.
And I've not paid you. So your lawyer is supposed to go and do like a certificate of urgency. I don't want to explain. That is deeper. And then now they make the prayer. We want you to, we are asking for an injunction pending the decision of this matter. Then the court will give a ruling on that. So maybe the judge will say, yes, I'm putting an injunction. This, then they'll give you orders. Wewe na mbio delivery man anitumie hizo orders. Nione, wamekuwa granted the injunction. And then now that's a ruling. But now a decision is when now the matter imeendelea to the end. So that's when now the judge will say, okay, I've made, this is my ruling according to the evidence you gave, Kimani, and according to, become eligible, and according to the evidence that Gloria and the productions have made, this is my decision. So that's the final decision. So if you're aggrieved by the decision, you can now go to the next higher court. So if you started at small courts, you can now go to the high court. Yeah, right? Yeah. Then from the High Court, you can go to the Court of Appeal, but the Court of Appeal is the last. Supreme inakwanga ya sasa kina the what are they called? Election, election petitions. Like,
so see any
not anyone can go to the Supreme Court. It's not all matters that go to the Supreme Court.
Because karibu nipeleke Gloria Productions kwa Supreme Court.
Unless it's I don't know. I can't remember the threshold or the jurisdiction on what matters, but I know once you get to the Court of Appeal, it makes the decision. The Supreme Court is set aside for some special group of matters. Yeah, but I can't remember them off my head right now.
Sawa. But tumeenda imekuwa broad vizuri and I like it that way. It's okay. Going back to contracts, what's the difference between a contract and an agreement?
Okay, so a contract is a legally binding agreement, meaning you have, if you go against what we have agreed, I can go to court.
That is based on the contract?
That's based on the contract, yeah.
Okay.
An agreement, me and you, we can agree to meet at 6 p.m. So that's an agreement.
Let's say we agree to meet at 5 p.m.
And then you don't come. I can't take you to court.
Show up late.
Now you see that's between me and you. We just fight there as friends and we move on.
So agreements are not legally binding?
Yeah, they're not legally binding. A contract is essentially an agreement that is legally binding. It has legal responsibility.
Understood.
Yes.
So a contract can only be legally
binding. Yes. Because remember, it has to have offer, acceptance, consideration. So all those things, those elements are what make a contract, and it is legally binding. Okay. Yes.
Interesting. The previous episode, I was seated with Pesh, and she's a HR. Tulikuwa na talk about employment and all that stuff. So what should every employee check before signing a job contract?
The money. Anyway, okay. Personally,
I agree.
Personally, mimi ningeanza kwanza ni kuona ile agree ndo mmeweka. Anyway, but on a more serious note, though that's also very serious, that's money. Consideration now. That's the now consideration in an employment contract.
So that is on your end.
Yes.
On your end unaangalia kama consideration ilikuwa.
Iko hapo.
Okay.
But then, if to answer that question like the best way that I can, for an employment contract, there's so many things that you should look at, but it's mostly informed by what you guys decided maybe in the interview, what they told you they'd offer you. So if they told you they'd offer you a specific amount of money, you check, is that what has been written down there?
Okay.
From there, you also check the terms. So you said you're going to be working from like 8 to 5. Is that what is written?
Yes.
Okay, good. Then you also check, what else would I check in an employment contract? Like the term of the contract. Like, for example, the contracts that you're given are like they're for 3 years. That's the contract term.
Okay.
So you check, okay, so we agreed it's gonna be 3 years employment, subject to renewal. So is it there? Is that clause there as
Yes.
well? Have they captured that? And it's also good to check the benefits that they have written down in that contract.
Okay.
Employment contracts are a bit special because there are specific benefits that employees get from employers. So you talked about medical insurance. Is your medical insurance captured in your contract?
Yes.
You talked about some benefits, maybe house allowance. Is it captured in that contract? You have to make sure all those things are captured, because if they're not captured, then you can't come back, and after you've signed,
Yes.
you can't come back and say, but in my interview you said this and this. And then they'll show you the contract. This is what you signed. This is this is the agreement we have between me and you.
Yes.
So probation period, there are people who they are told your probation period will be paid half maybe your salary, and then once the probation period ends, the salary now will be increased once you've proved yourself. So if you have agreed to those terms in your interview, so I don't think it's wise. I mean, just pay me the same. I'm gonna be doing the same work.
Yes.
If you find that I'm not performing as you would wish, you can let me go. But anyway, that's just my personal,
Yes.
opinion. So if you decided that it should be captured in your contract. Yeah.
Kuna kitu umesema hapo.
And also,
Yes.
sorry, one thing that's very also important that I do want
please,
you
yes,
to
please.
it imekuja to,
Yes.
it's on termination. It should capture what will constitute a termination and what is the notice period before you're terminated.
from-
And even you yourself from the employment, like being fired, quote
Yes.
unquote. And what else, and what notice should you give before you resign?
Okay.
Because these are the things that will come and bite you later when you get a better job in like a week and you're like, oh, deuces. Kumbe in your contract you said you should give
30 days.
30 days notice.
X amount of days.
Exactly.
Okay.
So there are employers who are just like, hey, we are gonna sue you. They have the money to sue you.
Yes.
And they can do it if they want, because that's breach of contract. Yes.
Hapo vile umetalk about probation. Let's say, after you are into the job,
Okay.
can you make an agreement? Can there be a verbal contract? Seme kama, for example, in the contract that you received, ama the offer letter, whatever, imeandikwa that maybe the probation is supposed to be 3 months. Then after you've gotten the job, they tell you verbally that, you know what, the probation period is going to be for 6 months. Is that legally okay?
No. If your contract says 3 months, it should be 3 months.
So
if they're extending the probation period, I think they should also do a contract that shows they have extended that probation period.
So when it comes to contracts, let's say for places ya kazi, kama tumeanza na a written contract, tunaendelea na written contract.
In fact, employment contracts, you cannot have verbal.
Employment contracts, they have to be written.
They have to be written.
Interesting.
Utaruko alafu.
Kipetero
kiyesu, I'm telling you. Yeah, so it has to be written for employment contracts.
So if maybe let's say you're working for any organization and they only have verbal contracts, that's a red flag.
That's a huge red flag. In fact, I think it's illegal according to the Employment Act. You cannot work without a contract.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
You have to have a contract.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I can mix the contract. It can either be verbal, written.
There are certain, I really wish I had refreshed my memory on this, but there are certain contracts. I know one for sure is sale of land. You cannot sell me your land verbally. So that one I'm sure. But even for employment contracts, no, you cannot have a verbal contract for work.
Okay.
Yeah, it has to be written down and you have to sign. That's why you find in most companies they have contracts. So before you join, they give you the offer. You've seen how people do interviews, they're like, I received the offer via email, that's the contract. So when you sign, you have accepted.
Okay.
So it all goes back to our the elements of our contract, essential elements. Those have to be there.
Okay. And talking about contracts, I want us to talk kidogo about NDA. What's an NDA?
Okay.
And when is it needed?
That's a very good question, Kimani. An NDA is a non-disclosure agreement.
Okay.
So a non-disclosure agreement essentially is needed when there is some information that is critical. I don't know what word to use. Like high-level information, or maybe even like trade secrets. For example, if now, let's go back to our initial example of cameras.
Yes.
Maybe you are making the cameras yourself, and we were entering into a contract, and me as the contractor,
yes,
because I'm getting from you, I want to see how you make them. Or there's a part where in that contract there are specific things that I need from those cameras,
yes,
that I need you to input them in mine. Like I want them to be custom made type of thing, right? So maybe it will involve you telling me something about how you make your cameras.
Yes,
you know, and you need to protect that, because that's your, it's like your intellectual property.
IP.
It's like your idea.
Yes.
You don't want somebody else going and doing the same thing as you.
Yes.
So now that's where we enter into a non-disclosure agreement, where I agree that I'm not going to disclose any of your business to any third party. And normally for the ones that I've interacted with, the NDAs usually go on perpetually. That means forever. Or some also go on for maybe a particular period of time. Especially, like where I work, we do NDAs, for example, with overseas companies, where we want to kind of like exchange notes, you know. So we do an NDA such that then the information they get from us, they won't go out there and publicize it. And the information we get from them, we won't publicize. But you see, that agreement that we have probably is for just a few years. So you cannot expect that we will keep your documents for forever.
Yes.
So like now we can have a timeline. For the ones I've worked on, they were like 10 years. Then when the 10-year mark comes, you can decide on whether to electronically dispose of them or shred and stuff like that.
What if I decide to share the information?
Then that's breach. That's breach of the non-disclosure agreement, and I can take you to court for damages.
But say according to the NDA, after maybe X amount of X time, say 10 years, ndio may expire. So after the 10-year mark, can I share the information?
Now that depends on the terms of your NDA. If maybe I've decided
terms.
Exactly, they are also agreements. They have terms. They have terms and conditions. There in the NDA you'll write what documents you're going to be sharing. You will write what else is there in an NDA? The laws that govern the NDA. Maybe it's between Kenya and Germany.
Yes.
So what laws govern this NDA of ours? Tutafollow za Kenya ama tutaangalia za Germany? Yes, stuff like that. But even that part of
it's okay.
That part of the time is also there. So maybe after those 10 years, you can dispose of the information.
Yes.
And there's also a clause that's usually there that if we get information that's about you and we publish that was not part of our agreement, then we are covered. You get?
Yes.
Yeah. So there's that part as well.
Talking about NDAs, NDAs have to be legally binding, right?
Yes.
Let's say, in this case, you are a lawyer. I'm not. If you decide to write an NDA, whatever we talk about after this podcast, ile motion yote tutapiga. If I share blah blah blah, you're going to sue me. You're legally binding. Ama lazima ikuwe na
nikisema na mdomo.
No.
Tuandikiane. Alafu nipate umeanika huko nje mambo zangu.
Siwezi kuanika.
Si umesema hapo hypothetically.
Small information. I'm a podcaster. Nitasema a friend of mine said 1, 2, 3.
If you don't like specifically say Gloria Kisoso said 1, 2, 3, or it doesn't directly tie it to me, then that, because at the end of the day what I'm trying to protect is my image. So that falls into the part of now defamation. Which I think you've heard about it a lot.
Yes,
with politicians and even companies. Even there's one that was going, I think, viral on Twitter about the crisps. I think the lady has said it has a lot of air. And the company reached out to her. Company. Yes, actually it's the biscuits, not even crisps, sorry.
Hata pia ya crisp
kuna dia crisps.
Walikuwa nasema hata pia huyo dem.
Yeah. So now they come and say you're defaming our company. You know, stuff like that. So when you talk about me to a public space and it's negative,
yes,
that's in itself is defamation.
And what if I talk about you in hypothetically?
But nobody knows it's me.
Yes.
Then no.
Kama tuseme for example, the way people maybe are talking about maybe the crisp company. We know, but the company, I think the company knows we are talking about them.
Yeah.
Hapo sinaenda kote niseme wewe ulikuwa unafikiria hiyo ni kitu iko kwa akili yako. That's not what I'm talking about.
As long as even you didn't specifically say, because you know crisp companies are many.
Yes.
So if you say it's you, it's not gonna hold water.
Okay.
But if I say your name and it's directly linked to you,
yeah,
then that's defamation.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hope mmesikia watu wa Mushene tuandike nini tabitu tumeandike NDA because kama the information that we've shared before we started recording, I think after this lazima utasign kitu.
No nisiambiana. Ni tu. I'm not expensive. I'll tell you all the tea, guys.
That status.
Nitaenda nifungue podcast yangu niseme tea with kisoso.
That's a good name. You should start it. What are the most common red flags or traps in contracts that people often miss?
Okay. Number one, the one red flag in a contract would be the absence of the issue of dispute resolution. I don't think most people anticipate that there will be a dispute. You know, when you're signing the contract, you're excited. Yes. You know, then you don't think about what will happen if this thing doesn't work out. So it's very important to have a dispute resolution clause and to even specify where you will go. Like how I had said earlier, you can decide to do ADR, which is alternative dispute resolution. Yes. Mediation, arbitration, all that, or you decide to go to court. Okay. So you need to have that element in your contract. Okay. I think it's a red flag, right?
Yes.
You've asked me about the red flags of contracts. I think another red flag is wording. How the contract is worded, like the words that are used. For example, you say when you're done with delivering your cameras, I might.
Okay.
I might.
Okay.
You know?
So I might reimburse you.
So such words, be very careful about them, yes. Okay. Because they're not ascertaining that it's gonna happen, you know. Okay. And there's this rule that's called the contra preferentum rule. That's a Latin word.
Preferentum.
Yes. So what that rule means is that when me and you we go to the court and say we have a breach of contract, and you're saying I'm the one who did the contract, and I wrote I might reimburse you, but you are like, no, you're supposed to reimburse me. You know. Yes. Contra preferentum means the contract will be. Oh my God, sorry. The contract will be interpreted against the person who drafted the contract. You get? Okay. If there is a discrepancy of a word in that contract or of a wording in that contract, it will be interpreted against the person who wrote down that contract, who is the drafter of that contract. Okay. Because I can't draft to you something and I put ambiguous wording, and then I expect it to be favored on my side. Yes. What word am I looking for? Like to be favorable on my side, because I'm the one who drafted that contract. Yes. So if I should have made sure that it's as clear and precise as possible when I was drafting it.
Okay.
You get?
Yes.
Yes. So even when you're doing contracts maybe for your businesses, make sure it's very clear, because ukienda huko mbele, it will be interpreted against you. Yani, if there are two sides to the coin, if that word can either fall as a positive or a negative, it will definitely be a negative on the person who drafted that contract. That's how the courts interpret it.
So court ni kama msumeno nakata mbele na nyuma. Okay.
That's what happens.
Wow.
So I think from that question, those are the two that I can say are red flags from a contract. If your contract is also very, it doesn't have all the elements. Because unajua there's this element also called force majeure. Force majeure? Let me tell you, law has a lot of Latin. Even me, these things, I had to be, when I was learning, I had to nizishike vizuri. So force majeure is, in English, it's called acts of God. For example, like COVID. You know, people are in contract and they couldn't deliver.
Oh, yes.
Because now there's lockdown. So it's not, si kupenda kwangu sijaleta kamera, si kupenda kwako hujaniletea kamera. Literally, there's a lockdown.
Acts of God.
That's an act of God.
So act of God ni the same na natural disasters.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Such stuff like that. Ama ulikuwa ukuje kwenyu kuka hiyo nyumba kwenyu hiyo ofisi ka flood.
Which happen mara moja.
So yeah, it's very important kukwe na hiyo that element needs to be there because of such instances. And I think for the longest in the legal profession, people force majeure was just an element that was always just there.
Yeah.
Nobody ever thought that. What do you mean? Until COVID. And then if you didn't have that clause, hapo ndo sasa kinakuramba.
Interesting. So lazima a contract ikuwe na dispute resolution.
Yes.
So hata mainly hata any contract.
Mostly contracts even to do with like supply and distribution of goods or works contracts. I'm supposed to come and maybe here in your studio, I'm supposed to do something for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. And what are some of the legal mistakes do young professionals and entrepreneurs often make when it comes to contracts and agreements?
One more mistake I've just remembered is, for example, there's this clause called
another Latin word.
No, it's not a Latin word.
Kwa tutasema show majuzi.
Please. It's, what's the word? Not liquidated damages. I'm looking for it. Interests. Payment of interests on payment.
Okay.
So let's say me and you are now, let me now use a new example. You're a content creator. You are.
I am a content creator.
And
New quality.
I love it. It's true. That's exactly what we are doing now.
Exactly.
So, and I have a business, or I'm a company and I want your services. And I tell you, I want you to be doing a certain number of reels and posts on scheduled times. Maybe in a month I need, 5 videos up. And I'll pay you once every video drops. Nakulipa hivo. So, ufanye video kama 5, sikulipi. Nikulipe 1, 2, ya 3, ya 5 niachie hapo. And then months go by.
Yeah.
And you keep calling, nobody from my company is responding to you. So let's say a year goes by.
Yes.
And now you decide to do like a video. Hey, this company, I have worked for them. Kisoso Gloria, and I talk to this. I can even show you guys receipts. How it goes down on TikTok. Yes. And then maybe my boss sees. Maybe mimi nilikuwa marketing department. Hata nilishakusahau the company. Maybe hata watu wakubwa hawajui maneno. So the boss of that company sees and is like, huyu mbona ninaona wanaongelelea kampuni ya Kisoso. Unajua what's going on. And then if they found out, you're not paid, and it's a year later, and the economy has become like the economy today and what it will be like in the next year, 100,000 to do today and 100,000 next year is not the same.
Yes.
So you can't expect that company will pay you the same 100,000. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
Interest has incurred. Why? First of all, because there's breach of contract. You didn't pay me on time.
Yes.
And now when you're paying me, things have changed.
Yes.
So it's very important to have a clause on interest on delayed payment, such that ukichelewa kunilipa in every month inaongezeka, kunakuwa na ka interest charge inapanda na 10%, inapanda na 2% hivyo, such that when time comes and now umefika hadi huko mbele, you get remuneration that is worth the timelines that you are meant to be given that money.
Okay. Interesting.
So yeah.
You have something else to add?
No. That was the one point I'd forgotten. That
okay.
But I think people should add in their contract.
I hope mnasikia the things that you're supposed to have in your contracts. Kwanza, fellow content creators, because that is something most content creators go through.
Yes.
You do maybe a post, a reel, whatever, then unakosa kulipa way later, na mtu anakuambia wacha nikulipe so and so, na sasa yenye things have totally changed.
Yeah.
Kapsa. How can someone negotiate terms even if they are not a lawyer?
I love that question.
Hey, so, you're excited?
Yes, okay. I'm very excited. How can you negotiate a contract? You know why I'm excited?
Why?
Because we're in the age of AI, guys.
What does AI have to do with negotiating?
Like, you can just prompt it and it will give you some tips. But anyway, how you can negotiate a contract, other than that, is you know what you want. I mean, if you're the one getting into an employment, unataka job, so you know what you want from that job.
Yes, I do.
So you start by voicing your needs, voicing your terms. Don't be afraid to voice your terms.
Yeah.
You know, because even if you you contract me and you tell me I want you to negotiate for me this contract, I'll ask you, Kimani, what do you want from this deal? It
starts from what
do you want?
Okay.
Then from there, I negotiate knowing, you want to be paid 150. Sawa, mi naanza na 200.
No, make it 350.
Sorry.
Yes, please.
350.
Yes, please.
Mi naanza sasa na 400.
Okay.
You know, you negotiate from what you want. Never be afraid to say what you want. That's the first thing. Second thing is make sure that whatever you're negotiating is legal. It's legally sound. Tafadhali, please, let's not go negotiating illegal things.
What do you mean? Like
maybe you're negotiating to, what can I say? Maybe you're negotiating to sell a product, and it's not an original.
Okay, I get. I get. Yes.
In short, okay, you can negotiate if you want to do illegal stuff, but I'm just encouraging your viewers
to do
because you know, illegal agreements, they are void. What do I mean by void? Before the court, there is no agreement.
Because anything that is illegal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unaenda kotini kwenye you get what I'm trying to say.
I get it.
So you can't go there asking for your rights, and what you are trying to do in the first place was not even legally sound.
Yeah.
So utashikwa, unaenda kupeleka mwingine, mtaingia ndani yenyewe wote wawili.
Okay.
So that's what I'd say. If you want to, if you're not a lawyer and you want to negotiate a contract, other than that, I think it's also very important. That's why I mentioned the AI. You prompt it, or even you read books on contracts. But reading books can be a bit deep because of you hear the two words I've been dropping here. So it's always good to use technology to gain knowledge on these areas, especially if you're one who is a business person, or even maybe you're just entering into a new job and you want to understand what are my rights here. I know the acts are very much available on Kenya law, or you can just go there, write down Employment Act Kenya. It will bring stuff for you to read, and you see, this is my right as an employee.
Okay.
You know, so when you enter into a contract, and so because negotiation is always done from a point of knowledge.
Okay.
If you don't have knowledge, someone will take advantage of you.
Yes, so true. Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power. It's true.
Knowledge is power.
So when you have a bit of knowledge, you don't have to be an expert, but have some knowledge such that you know this and this. This sounds good. This doesn't sound good. Yeah.
Okay. And what are some of the legal implications of breaking a contract?
Okay, so the first legal implication would be when you're in breach of contract, we go to court. So the court, like what I said, can put an injunction, as I said, and stop the whole thing. Like I said, I gave the example earlier on the cameras and stuff. So if you're not, they can bring me an order telling me, don't use those cameras. Or return those cameras to Kimani. You know, those are some of the implications that they are called damages. Excuse me. You go to court and you request for damages.
Okay.
So you can either request to be returned to the position you were before you entered into that contract. Maybe you used some money to procure those cameras.
Yeah.
You want the court for you to be paid. Ndio urudi back usikuwa umeenda loss. You can also ask the court to ensure that I keep my side of the bargain.
Okay.
That I pay you back.
Okay.
You can also ask the court to put an injunction on that matter as before it is decided. And also, I think another repercussion of breach of contract now, especially since we're talking about like content creators,
yes,
this would be reputational damage.
Okay.
You know, for example, as a content creator, you enter into a contract with someone and then ujulikane kumbe ufanyangi kazi.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't deliver.
Yes.
That company will definitely not give you another contract. And you know, one thing people don't realize is that HRs wanaongea. I mean, Pesh was here, and I think she can tell you that sometimes people, you apply, like, for example, let's say in the legal field,
yes,
people know each other. You know, tunasikia ati tumeandika huyo si alikuwa kwa ile law firm yetu na unajua tulikuwa tumempatia contract atufanyie hivi na hivi na hakufanya hivyo tu, ndio sasa your name is soiled.
Okay.
You know,
okay.
That's like one of the biggest repercussions I don't think people talk about a lot, because you end up losing, I think, huge deals because of how you have conducted yourself in a contract.
Okay.
And even for the other side, like for a company when they're in breach, we have already talked about it. Content creators will go on social media and talk about it. Yes. And that's how the other content creators wakiambiwa wakitumiwa offer, they'll be like, I saw what you did to nani. I don't think this is what I want. Yeah.
So is it advisable, say you breach a contract, can you sort it out of court? Ama lazime
you can court? Sort out of court. That's why I talked about alternative dispute resolution.
So let's say, since you say that a contract is a legal agreement, so the fact that it's legal, it doesn't mean lazima yende court. No. It can be sorted out of court.
Yes. In fact, it's even encouraged because court processes are long
and expensive,
and even expensive, but very long.
Yeah.
You know, you have a mention date for you. I can go to court today, lodge your complaint. Nitapatiwa mention date ya 3 months from now. Cameras tu zimekaa pale. Na hiyo mention date tuende, alafu the judge is not there that day. He's out of office. Upea another mention date, I don't know when. So that's why they came up with ADR. ADR has been really encouraged, especially in matters that can be sorted out of court. You're very much encouraged to negotiate, have meetings, kutanini katikati.
Yes.
That way, you both win and you don't go through the treacherous process of court.
Okay.
And also, it saves you so much time. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So you advise people to sort things out of court. That is very much encouraged.
Very much encouraged.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what does it mean to be legally eligible when it comes to contracts?
What does it mean to be legally eligible? I think from what I said earlier is going out of your way to know more about contracts, to understand the rights that you have in a contract.
Okay.
You know, to understand the terms of the contract, to understand that everything you have decided verbally should be written down. What I mean is that all those terms, even the smallest of things like they will be delivered wrapped in a certain paper. You know why you wanted that paper. Ndio ikikuwa kwa barabara maji kunyeshe ama hiyo gari anything ifanyike, hiyo bubble maybe ita protect your camera. You know, such things, make sure they're in your contract. You might think they're small, but wait until, God forbid, something happens when in the conduct of that contract.
Yes.
And then you realize you're the one on the losing end because of this one detail that you didn't include in your contract.
Yes.
So it's very important to make sure you capture the terms as they were when you discussed, including everything that might affect you and the other party as well. So that is what I'd say. And also a very important point, read that contract. Yes, I'm telling you, I am a lawyer, I know. We draft long contracts. Oh, there is a reason, guys. Because huko ndani kuna mambo.
Okay.
So soma.
That's why.
Na kama unasikia hautawezana, call a friend.
Usifanye kama ile
tafuta wakili kisoso.
Agree.
Call your friend who's a lawyer, call a friend who, or I don't know, put it on AI, tell it, Ebu, give me a summary. I want to know what they have written down.
Okay.
You know,
yes.
Find a way to use the tools that are at hand to get you to understand that contract. Don't just sign it because you're like, mimi by the way, this is some of this whole thing. Situlisha amua, situlisha agree. Situlisha ongea, wacha ni sign apana. At least get an understanding of what is written there. Because most contracts vitu zimejificha ndani.
Okay.
There's something else I had remembered on contracts, then I imagine it has gone. Oh, yes. One last thing. Mama, maybe let me wait for you to ask me.
No, just say it. Just
what
say
I
it.
want to say at the end, you know.
Unataka kusema at the end?
Yeah. That's my, what is it called? My mic secret. Okay. My mind drop that I want to, share with your audience.
Okay.
And tawambia. Hini watu wangu.
What simple legal habits do you encourage every person to have?
Simple legal habits.
Umesema there is reading and
being aware of the laws.
Being aware of the laws. Oh.
Yeah, it's good to know.
So even hata kwa space yenye niko as a content creator, I need to know the laws that bind me.
Exactly. You need to know like data protection laws. Because it's a huge thing now, especially with the Data Protection Act 2019 that came out. Now you can't just be out there taking your content and somebody's baby is there, a child. And you're there, oh guys, and then that child is there. The mom will come and say, andakupeleka kotini.
Okay, makes sense.
Everybody who is on your camera, everybody has a right to privacy. You can't come with your camera. I am busy doing my things. Maybe sitaki kuonekana.
Now what if? Because unless I was shooting a video for a bookshop. Kuna mtu alikuwa ameni contract, a friend of mine alikuwa ameniambia, I want to come shoot showing people where my bookshop is, all that. Then as I was recording, there's a woman mwenye alikuwa kwa parking, then akaambia security that she could record because of recording her, because of her privacy, blah blah blah, and I accepted. That one was on the wrong. But during editing nikamblur sura. Is that okay? Ama hiyo hata when it's taken before a court, I'll be charged.
No, now kama umembla atajuaje ni yeye hata yeye.
Okay. So kama ingekuwa sura yake ni hivyo.
Kama ni sura yake
aizenda aseme mimi ndo nilikuwa nimevaa hiyo skirt ya pink. Akisema hivyo.
No, nobody will know. So the main point of privacy is it's private. The rest of us can't know it's you. You're the only one who knows it's you, but it's not like us, we don't know.
Okay. Because nilikuwa naogopa nikuwe sued.
You can't be sued for that.
Mdogo sijapona hata kitovu.
But kwanza for children, I think people should really be keen because these are minors. There's a Children's Act, and you cannot invade children's privacy. Especially True. I see nowadays on TikTok, teachers are taking videos. If you see their videos properly, you don't see the kids.
Yes. 100%.
So those are guys who understand that hapa mzazi ataona mtoto wake anako like
yes.
And you open up so much predators, in the world we're living in right now.
Hey, people are bad.
People are bad. So it's very good to make sure your surrounding, you're not putting not only children, but even other people without their consent.
Yes.
That's why you find in places like restaurants, it will be written, videography is allowed here or something. They'll give like, there's something on the wall.
Yes.
Please take note that you're in a area where videography, I can't remember the exact same words, but I think you get what I mean. That's why they put that disclaimer there.
Okay.
So that if you're not comfortable, you leave. Like for me, my gym has it. And I had an issue the first days. Yani niko uko na hema, mtoto wako hapo na kamera na niweka kwa content.
Wanataka kuonyesha, we must show, you must be seen.
Yeah, I must be seen, but I didn't want to be seen. Then I look around and I'm like, oops, they've said this area, they take videos. I can't come here and tell them not to take me videos. And they take, like, even when you go to church, you kwanza, you see, you are you are you know what you are. You know what you are, Kimani. You know what you do.
Wakili, we're talking about agreements.
Unangoja tulie, unakuja hapo.
But hiyo ni kitu tutaongelea off air by the way. Umenikumbusha kitu about that. We'll talk about it off air. So hata ukienda kusu maybe a certain seme kama the restaurant then wakwambia tulikuwa tumeandika vile yenyewe sema kwa law that ignorance is no defense.
Yes. Once they say that there's nothing, they are called exemption clauses. Nimekumbuka. Wow.
Okay,
they're called exemption clauses. That's why you find even in pools they write dive at your own risk. If you dive there and you die, they wamejitoa, they're not liable. So if you put up there that we are taking videos, you should know you are in an environment where you might find your photos have been taken. So they are giving you like a disclaimer. So you can't go and say, oh, why is my photo taken? Tutakuonyesha tu hapo kwenye tumeka the disclaimer. Yeah.
So you advised most institutions, most public spaces to have such disclaimers.
Yes, I do.
Because it's so easy for someone to swim.
Yeah, it is.
Mimi sikutaka mnionyeshe sura, please. I didn't sign up for this.
Sikuwa nimesema.
Na hapo unaweza lipa do mzuri?
Defamation cases.
Okay. So
that's not even defamation. I mean, meaning of privacy, breach of privacy. Yeah, it's something.
So nikifeel tu kidogo nimesota nianze kuhusu watu naambia unajua mlinipost na mimi sikuwapatia consent.
Na mimi sikuwapatia consent.
Very nice. Sadly tumefika that point where you have to share your secret. Umesema kuna secret.
No, podcast imeisha.
Yes. Awamini?
Siamini.
I told you time itafly. You're going to have so much fun. So what is your final advice for whoever is watching?
My final advice, this is something my colleague, she told me to shout out. Who let me shout out?
Sema. Muluya ongea. Tuma salamu.
Nataka kusalimia. Baba nani? Anyway, my colleague, her name is Agnes.
Hi, Agnes.
Yeah, so she's like a really good friend of mine. When we were having this conversation, she told me one of the things that we both agreed on was don't rush to sign that contract.
Okay.
You know, sometimes you get excited, especially if you're a content creator. Coca-Cola has texted me. Are we allowed to say
it's okay.
To say brands?
It's okay.
Tusije tukakuwa defame.
No, you are not defaming them. They are a big brand and see that we are painting them in any bad.
Yeah, that's true. Yes. That's true. So why am I using Coca-Cola? Be eligible.
Become bro. Yeah.
Become eligible. Has not even texted, has sent you an email.
No, unajua vile vitu zetu huwa zinakaa super.
Sana. You guys.
Remember the invite that I sent?
The invite was amazing. I was very much impressed. I was like, I have to come here. So, they send you the contract or the offer.
Yes.
And you're so excited, you sign without even reading. Or even you read quickly. One of the things I'd advise you, don't sign too quickly. Don't be too excited. Take a deep breath. Even send it to your friend. Tell him or her, you read this for me and tell me what you're seeing. Like, they might give a new perspective of something, or they might see something that you have not seen in that contract.
Yes.
That might come to bite you kombele.
Yes.
So it's very important to take a deep breath. Don't immediately sign. Don't be pressured. I think my mom usually says things that are happening quickly. Think twice. What's that, Nini? There's a
when
verb.
The deal is too good.
When the deal is too good.
Think
twice. Yes. Even when the contract is too good also. Yes.
Think twice.
There are blessings from God. Trust me, I believe in that.
Yes.
But it's also good to just read it through and ensure that it's not like a snare from the enemy and it's trying to, catch you. Yes.
Okay.
So yes, that's what I'd like to share.
As you were sharing that, kuna kitu nimekumbuka. Final question. Kuna a time frame ya signing any contract. Like, because you're encouraging me rather to take time, read through the contract, understand each and every clause. Is there a time frame for every agreement? Ama every agreement inakuja na time frame yake?
Every agreement inakuja na time frame yake. Also, if it's an employment contract, you don't want to stay too long. Kama hauja sign.
Okay.
By meaning, don't rush. I don't mean take 3 months. Just take a day or 2.
Yes.
And then now sign.
Okay. Sasa, understood.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for gracing me and the audience back at home kwa hii podcast. Thank you so much kabisa.
Asante sana.
Utarudi tena?
Narudi. Tuanze ingine sahi.
You see, I told you you're going to have so much fun.
Yeah, this was nice.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I hope you had an awesome time, and I hope after this episode you have become eligible when it comes to contracts, agreements, and any legal stuff. Remember, as I've said, I'm on each and every social media platform that is at Become Eligible Podcast. That is on Instagram and TikTok, and my personal social media handle is Kimani Source. If you have any question or feedback, my WhatsApp number is open 0700573437. We will definitely get back to you. See you on the next one. Become eligible each and every time. Bye.